The Multiple Intelligences Theory, a retelling by Tiffany Poirier. Once upon a time, there was a man named Howard Gardner, a famous American developmental psychologist and the author of lots of books. Now, Howard's a very inquisitive person, and this is one of the questions he famously asked himself. What is intelligence? Like, what does it really mean to be smart? What do you think? Is it just about high IQ, doing well on standardized tests, and fitting in to the one little box traditionally acknowledged as intelligence? No, said Howard. He could think of so many ways people show their intelligence. This was the birth of the multiple intelligences theory. It's the idea that intelligence is expressed in multiple modalities. Want to know more? Let's look closer. Logical mathematical intelligence, or number smart, is a strength in working with logic and numbers. Think of mathematicians, scientists, accountants, computer programmers. Think of someone like Albert Einstein. And how about yourself? Do you like working with numbers? Are you good at seeing things in an organized, logical way? This is your logical mathematical intelligence at work. Verbal linguistic intelligence, or word smart, is a strength especially used by authors, poets, journalists, and radio hosts. For example, think of someone like J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. And how about you? Do you like working with words? Do you like creative writing, reading, speaking, or word games? That's your verbal linguistic intelligence. Visual spatial intelligence, or picture smart, is used by artists, architects, engineers, designers, pilots, basically people who understand and can visualize 2D and 3D space. Think of someone like Pablo Picasso. Do you like the arts? Do you have fun visualizing and using space in creative ways? That's your visual spatial intelligence. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence, or body smart, is especially important to athletes, dancers, actors, mechanics, carpenters, people who need to understand and know how to use their bodies in strategic or creative ways. Think of someone like Wayne Gretzky, one of the great hockey players. And how about you? Do you enjoy sports or working with your hands creatively? That's your bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Musical rhythmic intelligence, or music smart, belongs to musicians, singers, conductors, audio engineers. Think of singer Aretha Franklin using her voice in interesting and beautiful ways. Do you like music? Do you pay attention to interesting sounds? Can you keep a rhythm or feel a beat? That's your musical rhythmic intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence, or people smart, is the gift of the people person. Psychologists, social workers, managers, teachers, TV hosts all would need to use interpersonal intelligence. Think of someone like Oprah Winfrey using her skills at understanding and relating to people. Are you a people person? Are you sensitive to and interested in people's needs? That's your interpersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence, or self-smart, is the ability to understand yourself in deep ways. Many great leaders, entrepreneurs, psychologists, and writers need to use this intrapersonal intelligence to motivate and draw themselves onwards. Anthony Robbins is a famous self-help author and motivational speaker, and he had to start with first seeking to understand himself. So how about you? Do you work at knowing yourself better? Do you enjoy reflecting on yourself and your goals? If yes, that's your intrapersonal intelligence. Now on to naturalist intelligence, or nature smart, which Howard Gardner added to his original list of just 7 intelligences. This 8th one has to do with observing, understanding, and organizing patterns in the natural environment. So botanists, geologists, veterinarians, farmers, and chefs all would use this intelligence in their work. Think of someone like Jane Goodall, the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees. How about you? Do you feel connected to nature? Are you interested in animals, plants, and the natural world outside? That's your naturalist intelligence. Lastly, Howard Gardner recently considered adding a ninth intelligence, existential intelligence, or big question smart. This is the ability and awareness needed to tackle deep questions about life, meaning, and existence. Philosophers, theologians, cosmologists, and life coaches would all tap into this area of intelligence. As an example, think of ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. How about you? Do you enjoy exploring life's big questions? Have you ever wondered about the meaning of life? When you do, that's you using your existential intelligence. So there you have it, at least 9 ways to be intelligent, all related and yet distinct, all within each of us to certain degrees. And we can strengthen them. Howard Gardner famously wrote about these intelligences in his book, Frames of Mind. This book had a huge impact on the world of education. A couple years ago, Gardner wrote another book called 5 Minds for the Future, and that's a great story for another time. Now, what about you? Think about it. You have so many gifts inside you. Let's look at your gifts through this framework. Take a moment now to do the multiple intelligences inventory and find out more about how intelligent you are.